Good morning, students. Here we come up with the general anatomy of the hemal nodes. Now, in the hemal nodes, yesterday we had seen lymph node. Before that, primary lymph follicle. So, lymphoid tissue consists of primary lymph follicle, lymph node, hemal node, and thymus. So, we have discussed primary lymph follicle, we have discussed the lymph node. Now, we are coming to the structure of the hemal node. Hemal node, the biggest example is spleen. So, therefore, the name of our topic is structure of spleen. So, therefore, in the structure of the anatomy of the spleen, we consider that the entire spleen is covered by capsule. So, therefore, if I draw this diagram over here, this entire spleen will be covered by the capsule. This is the capsule which is covering the spleen. From this capsule, which consists of connective tissue and also elastic fibers, it will send various trabeculae, various septa inside. Now, therefore, these trabeculae, this septa will also contain the connective tissue, elastic fibers, and in between there will be lots of spaces which are filled with the various fine reticular network, and therefore it will be filled up with reticular fibers and reticular cells. And also in these spaces will be the disposition of the lymphocytes, B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, and across various places there will be also the blood-filled sinusoids. Therefore, in order to understand the structure of the spleen, how it functions as a hemal node, this hemal node, it will help in filtration of the blood, and also it will help, this spleen will help in filtration of the blood, and also it will help in the process of destroying the old and effete RBCs. So therefore the old cells are destroyed, all RBCs are destroyed by this spleen. So therefore, in order to understand this microanatomy, 2 points we need to understand. There will be white pulp and there will be red pulp. And remember, the red pulp will surround the white pulp of the spleen. So therefore the spleen will have location of white pulp in various areas, and surrounding the white pulp will be location of the red pulp. Now these topics are such that they will be helpful in histology also, which we discussed during the normal microscopic anatomy of spleen. So in the routine histology of the spleen, we discuss red and white pulp, and sometimes red and white pulp is asked in 1 mark question answer, and also the red and white pulp can be asked as a short note. So therefore we start with the white pulp. Basically the white pulp in hematoxylin and eosin preparation, in the routine stains which are used in laboratory, that is H and E stain, there is the bluish color appearance of the white pulp, in which, if I draw here, this white pulp will have various dot type of cells which we see in the microscope, and these cells of the white pulp, they are the lymphocytes, macrophages, and plasma cells. Majority of the B and T lymphocytes are located here, and in the center of this white pulp there will be germinal center, and this germinal center will contain the lymphoblast. So therefore here, this is the appearance of white pulp, where there will be B and T lymphocytes, macrophages, reticular cells. Now placed here within the microscope, we are able to see there will be a eccentric position of an arteriole. So placed here will be eccentric position of arteriole, and this arteriole will be seen in the microscope in this direction, in which it is eccentrically placed. It is present between the germinal center and the various cells which are lining the white pulp. Now we come to the microanatomy of this white pulp. Now these white pulps are located almost everywhere. They are seen here also. These are the places where you see lots of white pulp. And these white pulps, the characteristic feature of these white pulps which I have told you is having a germinal center and the arteriole. Now, going deep in the white pulp, the splenic artery will supply the capsule where it will divide into various branches. So splenic artery will be dividing into various branches which is passing through the capsule. This is the splenic artery. As it branches, it will pass through these septal, that is the trabeculae. It will pass through these trabeculae. These are the branches of splenic arteries. It is passing through this septa, this trabeculae, and then it is passing deep inside. Now, as it passes deep inside the spleen, these arteries are surrounded. They are surrounded by various T lymphocytes. So therefore, these arteries, if I show here, they will be surrounded by T lymphocytes. And these T lymphocytes will form the various, if I show these T lymphocytes, they will form the various peri-arteriolar lymphatic sheath. So this is known as the peri-arteriolar lymphatic sheath, which is formed by T lymphocytes. See the pattern, how the arteries are entering the capsule. They are passing through this septa, through this trabeculae. The branches, as they are entering inside in the spleen, they are surrounded by T lymphocytes, which will form peri-arteriolar lymphatic sheath. So here I am going to write down, if this is the splenic artery, the branches of splenic artery entering here, this is the peri-arteriolar lymphatic sheath, mainly composed of T lymphocytes. Surrounding this peri-arteriolar lymphatic sheath, it will be surrounded by the lymphatic nodule. The entire lymphatic nodule will surround this peri-arteriolar lymphatic sheath. So therefore, this structure here will once again contain lot of lymphocytes, and these lymphocytes will surround this entire peri-arteriolar lymphatic sheath, in which the central artery will remain in the eccentric position. So it will be surrounded by these lymphocytes of lymphatic nodule. So the lymphocytes which will surround the entire peri-arteriolar lymphatic sheath will constitute lymphatic nodule, and therefore here I will name this structure as lymphatic nodule, and the presence of lymphatic nodules was noted in lymph node. Those lymphatic nodules were the primary lymph follicles. The primary lymph follicles, the lymphatic nodules which we have noted in the lymph node, they are the same lymphatic nodules which we find here surrounding the peri-arteriolar lymphatic sheath. Remember, this I am discussing about only one of the branches, one of the central arteries. Likewise, there are so many branches coming up, and therefore this lymphatic nodule now which is surrounding the peri-arteriolar lymphatic sheath will consist of B lymphocytes. So therefore, it will consist of B lymphocytes, and the name of this lymphatic nodule now will be known as the Malpighian node, Malpighian nodule. It is known as the Malpighian node, Malpighian nodule, and the combined portion now, peri-arteriolar lymphatic sheath surrounded by the Malpighian nodule, that is the lymphatic nodule, this together will be known as, it will be known as the white pulp, and therefore this is how the white pulp is formed. Now this is a three-dimensional structure. If you take a cross section of the white pulp, this is how the cross section of the white pulp will be visible. Remember, this is the cross section. Here we have tried to explain the entire formation of white pulp in a three-dimensional way. And remember, if you take a section of the spleen, it can be through various directions. It can be transverse, horizontal, oblique, anterior, posterior, longitudinal, etc. So in any of these sections, white pulps are scattered. They are seen in a scattered manner. So similarly, these are the white pulps. In transverse section, they are scattered. Cross section, the white pulp will appear like this. And in cylindrical way, three-dimensional way, where we have tried to explain how this white pulp is formed, we observe the white pulp in this way. So remember 2 points about white pulp. One, branching pattern of the arteries as they are entering inside. Similarly, the smallest branch, central artery, will be surrounded by peri-arteriolar lymphatic sheath, which is composed of T lymphocytes. And this entire structure will again be covered by the entire lymphatic nodule. And which will be loaded with B lymphocytes, and therefore it will be known as the Malpighian node. And therefore this combined structure together will be known as white pulp, which we see here. And therefore here in this white pulp, this is the central arteriole, eccentric position, and surrounding this is the white pulp. This is the lymphatic nodule, the entire lymphatic nodule. So therefore here surrounding this arteriole will be the B lymphocytes, and peripheral portion of the lymphatic nodule will be occupied by B lymphocytes. So this much is white pulp. Now what is red pulp? Once these arteries are passing through this white pulp, after passing through this white pulp, let us see as they come out, see here, as they come out, these arterioles as they come out, they form the straight vessels, the straight branches. And these straight branches as they come out from the white pulp, they are known as penicilli. Please note down. These questions are asked in one question answer. Also, what are Malpighian nodes, what is white pulp, what is periarterial and lymphatic sheath, what are penicilli. So these branches are now known as penicilli. So this is penicilli. What are penicilli? They are the straight branches of the central artery coming out of the white pulp deep within the spleen. So penicilli, the straight branches, these penicilli will have, as it progresses deep inside in the spleen, as it progresses, it will have thickenings of its wall which are called ellipsoid. So there will be the thickenings which will be known as ellipsoid. First, if I show here, these are the penicilli, they will have this ellipsoid thickenings. So these are the thickenings. So these thickenings of the walls will be known as, let us name them as ellipsoid. One more question answer. And then after this thickening, the arteries will then open. Where they will open is also very interesting. As they open in various spaces. For example, I will show these spaces in the form of yellow color. These are the spaces within the spleen where they will open. And these spaces, they constitute reticular fibers, reticular cells, they will have T lymphocytes, they will have B lymphocytes. So therefore these spaces, within these spaces, there will be various openings of these penicilli. And as this penicilli, they open inside, blood will pass through these spaces. And as blood passes through all these spaces, and these spaces are surrounded by various cells. What are the cells? Once again I will repeat, reticular cells, reticular fibers, the T lymphocytes, the B lymphocytes, even the macrophages, the RBCs. So therefore, these blood-filled spaces which are surrounded by all these cells, they are known as the red pulp of the spleen. So this will constitute here, it will constitute the red pulp of the spleen. And therefore, these red pulp of the spleen, they are the spaces which are formed in between the various cells, as I have mentioned, and in between these cells the blood will open. That means the blood will come in direct contact with these cells where it forms the red pulp. Now from this red pulp the blood will pass into the sinusoids. So note down, they will pass into the sinusoids, where I will show this with, these are the sinusoids, where I will show with violet color. So these are the sinusoids. So the blood will pass in these sinusoids, and here I will note down this structure as sinusoids. As blood will pass through red pulp in the sinusoids, later on from these sinusoids blood will be collected in the veins. Blood will be collected in the veins, that is venules, and these venules will join, and they will form the splenic veins, the tributaries of splenic veins. So these veins will then pass through the trabeculae, and once they enter this trabeculae septa, they will pass through this trabeculae and pass through the capsule into the splenic vein. So therefore this is the entire circulation of the blood. from the red pulp into the sinusoids, into the venules. These venules join to form the tributaries of veins, which will pass through the same pattern where the branches of arteries had entered. They will exit through the same pattern as the arteries had entered. So the exit of these veins will be through the trabeculae, through the capsule, and then through the capsule in the form of splenic vein. So therefore, here you can note down this structure as splenic vein. This is the entire circulation, and this circulation is known as the open circulation. So this variety of circulation is called open circulation, and there is quite a debate about the types of circulation in spleen, open circulation or closed circulation. This debate of open and closed circulation will be the pattern of circulation which I have discussed. What is red pulp also? It can be asked in one mark question answer. So this pattern of circulation is open circulation of the spleen. What is closed circulation? As is observed in various organs, majority of the organs there is closed pattern of circulation. Sometimes spleen will also function in the form of closed pattern of circulation. The only difference will be in closed pattern of circulation, these arteries, penicilli, the branches of penicilli will directly enter the venules. It will not enter the red pulp, and it will not enter the sinusoids, venous sinusoids. It will directly enter through smaller sinusoids into the venules. It will avoid totally the red pulp. So that type of circulation is called closed type of circulation. That type of circulation will be known as closed type of circulation if the branches of arteries directly enter through the venules. So these are the two varieties of the circulation which you need to understand in the spleen. So here we finish the entire anatomy of the spleen. Thank you very much.